Hey, Spuddies, Potato Big Whiskey here, and welcome back to Tower Dominion. And today we're going to be playing on the Frontier mode. We're trying out this new mode that we just unlocked. If you haven't seen the other videos and you want a bit of an overview of the game, you can go check those out. But I will explain the game as we go. So it's a tower defense game. We got some basic stuff we need to take care of here. I think, let's see, what do I still have to unlock? So what do I got to do here? Build 3 howitzers, produce a lot of supplies. That'll just take a while. Produce supply. Destroy foes, win expeditions. I have not won that many. Reroll a bunch of times. Reach 50 recon production. That could be doable. Build 2 zone commands in a single game. And reach 20,000 HP on HQ. That is kind of what I want to try to do today. And I kind of want to try it with either Sergeant Gertag or Warden Gerhard. I think I'm going to go for Warden Gerhard here, because he starts with 5 Miradors, which is going to be extremely useful, especially with his innate ability, which if buildings are adjacent to a Mirador, they gain 15% damage. I kind of have an idea and a strategy in mind. Now, for every single one of these skulls that we have, we get a special perk at the start of the map. So really what I like to do is to make sure that we get 3 skulls, and then I'm like, okay, what can I trim? And I definitely feel like dropping a low-tech world so that the opponents have 20% extra speed is like pretty damn good. Also, foggy world, lowering the range of our buildings, like that's pretty painful. That gets us down to 15. That's it. Those are the 2 that I can take away. So my buildings still have some range. My foes don't get extra HP, but our HQ is going to lose 5% of its health every wave. Every 4 waves, we're going to get a negative doctrine. When we reveal a threat, we're going to lose our existing supply, so we need to be spending our money. On waves 6 and 8, we're going to get a brightest spawn nest. We're not going to get as many reinforcement resources. Slows are less effective. Being adjacent to neutral buildings is negative. Rerolls are more expensive. Foes of tier 3 are faster. We have less reinforcement choices. If we only have 1 battlefront, all of our enemies have extra health, and we have a really dangerous stealth enemy that we need to deal with constantly. But here we go. So we could start off with a bunch of extra cash, or we could go for the Grenadier production. I think Grenadier production is kind of neat. Let's go for that. That'll add up over the course of the game. On threat reveal, gain extra supply. That's quite nice. And gaining a ammo depot is also really good. Also, the 5% repair would undo one of those problem things. So let's go for the 5% repair. That's actually kind of useful. A bit of a problem here is that our battlefronts are already conjoined over here. But I think this would be a good idea because this will lower the number of total entrances I have and kind of balance where the enemies are coming from a little bit better. So I'll just join them together for now. I'm going to go for... Now, usually I've been going down the left side here. I could go down this right side if I wanted to. The infantry just aren't reliable enough, in my opinion, to clear enemies. So I do like to go down this bastion side, and it scales really nicely with putting Miradors adjacent to the HQ. And we can get up to 4 times 4. We can get up to 16 Miradors adjacent to our HQ. Each Mirador gives it a 30% health boost. So 16 times 30 is... Every 3 is like 100%. So we're going to give it like 5 times extra health, which is pretty cool. Yeah, let's open up with these 2 abilities here. The corner strong points and the barrage LMGs. So you can see now our capital, our HQ, has these guys who are going to shoot enemies that come. So let's go ahead and send the wave. I don't expect to completely stop all enemies in the early game. We can take a little bit of damage. We don't want to take damage, but we can take damage. So buildings adjacent to a neutral building, this would help alleviate this negative ability here, the rate of fire reduction we have. It's somewhere in here. Yeah, this would help negate this rate of fire penalty that we have. So this is quite tempting. Extra 2,000 health for our HQ though is kind of good for our mission, which our goal is to get 20,000 HQ HP. And now it's a question of, do I want to save up for the Durandal turrets, or do I want to start placing Miradors and leveling them up? I'm going to place at least 1 Mirador here, I think, so that I can get the Mirador rolls. I can get rolls that buff the Mirador. And also, they will just add a little bit of damage. We're probably going to leak in the early game. It's fine. Frontline trenches are great if we want to lean into infantry. So I'll grab those field works because they are relatively cheap for what they do. I want to turn you to the left here, so you can kind of come up here and join these guys. Maybe we can merge these 3 into a single battlefront and kind of work towards that. Might be an okay decision. I suspect we're going to need to deal with a decent amount of detection this game, so I'm just going to go ahead and special reinforcement this. We'll slowly upgrade our Miradors 1 by 1, adding them. A lot of enemies are coming from down here, so we do need to thin this out with a placement. This is our most vulnerable location right now. While you only have one Mirador HQ gain +2 range and 20% damage, that would be really cool, but we plan to build a lot of Miradors, so I'm kind of being pushed away from this. I don't want Pumas. The Claymore defense is nice, but I really want that Mirador cost 10% because that's going to save us a lot of supply. We have a lot of Miradors to build, and so that's going to save us 20 per Mirador we build, plus 10% off the actual upgrades here. So now we have another defender on this thing. They have a 25% reload speed boost, so their uptime on DPS is higher. I definitely need to extend this path here. It's a little bit too close. Sending Grenadiers out this path is good. I don't get to choose where the Grenadiers come out, which is a bit of a downside. That's okay. Ooh, tier 2 doctrines. I like it. During the next wave, all buildings adjacent to neutral buildings suffer minus 100% rate of fire. I'll take it. That's fine. We don't have any neutral buildings on the map right now. Oh, this is not what I want to place here. I don't want a bunch of enemies coming from the south. Putting it here might be okay. I do need to make this longer though. I will. So more enemies are going to be coming from here, but at least I'll have more time to defeat them. So we're going to go for close support here. This will give the HQ an extra 30% HP, 15% damage, and it will repair 5% of its health every wave. So any of this damage that we're taking right now will just slowly be eliminated with overtime repairs, and also just the total DPS that is increased. I'm a big fan of the Werewolf and the Durandal. They're quite expensive. The Bastion is also an incredible anti-shield unit, so I think we might grab the Bastion. Oh, I don't love this because we're putting one of these shield bug nests really close to our main. The furthest we could place it is here, which I will accept. That's fine. So this is where the shield bugs come from, this little cave thing. It's not good. So we don't want to roll those guys early, I think. Send the wave. I think I want a Mirador on the south side here to help deal with just the sheer mass and quantity of crap that's being thrown at me. Need a little bit of DPS on the south side. We're not going to be re-rolling much, so I don't think we benefit from this, whereas the Imperial Barracks actually has a lot of use, in particular for Grenadier generation, if that's something we want to look into. I definitely need to make this path longer, and I'm going to rotate it so that the high ground is closer to these other paths, so I can make use of this high ground to overwatch this. Just need to extend these a little. We are going to be going up against a tunneler shield. Ugh. So yeah, we got the early brightest, so they're going to be coming out of all of these, and we're going to have a ton of them this game. That was like worst case scenario was rolling them this early, genuinely. So this is pretty worst case scenario, all things considered. I'm going to put a nest here. We'll start building this up. These will help with these light guys. They should be able to pop them basically with a single shot, so they'll thin the herd. But we are going to have a bit of a struggle with these flying guys. Right now, flying enemies are going to be a problem for us. We're still early days. An extra Mirador is great. I do need a certain number of these, so I'll take it. What have we got, a 4-way? Ugh. Well, the good news is I actually have a really good potential for a triple bastion position here for anti-shield bugs. So I think I'm going to set this up over here. There's really good anti-shield bug potential in the long run. All right, logistic reinforcement, then we'll go for close support. The more DPS and HP that my HQ has, the less enemies are going to get through, and the less it matters if enemies do get through. So that's kind of the logic here of pushing for the close support. And also, if I only have Miradors, I'm more likely to get the Mirador efficiency, or cost reductions, making them cheaper and easier to get out. 20% supply production this early is fantastic. That's really going to add up. I don't want to lose. I mean, it's 150 supply I can lose. I'm just going to take the unsettling sites. What do we got here? This path here is incredibly short, so it's a little bit of a problem. But this isn't a particularly good piece for making it longer. So let's just make this longer slightly. Ooh, all buildings get 5% damage per battlefront if I put something adjacent to this. That's a 15% damage boost because we've got 3 battlefronts, which is effectively 3 individual paths that don't interconnect. That's quite useful. All right, let's get another close supply here. There's a 15% damage boost to this bad boy. I like these Miradors aren't completely crap for DPS. Like, don't get me wrong. They're not great DPS, but they're not worthless either. It's just they shift a lot of their DPS towards the HQ. I need to build the officers' quarters so I can start building up the defensiveness of my HQ as well. Let's see, plus 10 infantry HP, plus 5% fire rate if buildings are adjacent to each other, plus an extra 100 HP every time you place a building is actually incredible. So I'm kind of tempted to get the structural network. That's going to be really good. Our goal is to get a lot of HQ HP this round. I'm going to place the officers' quarters. Oh God, another one of these. Yeah, we want these in a line, basically. Right, officers' quarters here, and we'll go down the left side. Yeah, this is going to be our first wave with the real, like, sort of next tier, harder foes. They're going to do big damage to us. We do have good recovery though. I might need to save up for the Durandal positions. Buildings adjacent to 4 other buildings gain 20% damage. That's actually quite good because we are going to be surrounding our capital with or our main base with a bunch of buildings. I'm going to have you push out this way. Oh, building adjacent to the classified site, you gain 300 supply. So if we were to drop 3 Miradors adjacent to that, we would immediately get like a huge surplus of supply. 1, 2, 3. Big supply boost, which means we can go 8 recon plus superintendent. I'll take the Imperial Barracks, and I will also take the Warwolf position, and I'll take a frontline trench. Big money on the map. Nothing actually really spawned up here, but that's fine. I don't know why these guys aren't shooting. They should be shooting. Looks like they bugged out. Yeah, I really need the extra range on this, or the Durandal top turrets. Mirador efficiency is super good. I'm going to take that because we do have a lot of Miradors. And I think we can just tank a little bit of damage as we go to get the Durandal turrets and then the underground train. So I think we'll just take damage. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. It sucks. It's not ideal. It is what it is. You know, if we need to take a little bit of damage, we need to take a little bit of damage. So be it. Yes, another Mirador, please. I can lose 2 tech points. I'll lose 2 tech points. Not super useful for my build. I'm going to rotate you. I could close a couple entries this way, push them further out. Yeah, I think I'll just pop it over there. That's fine. I'm saving up. Saving up for the Durandals. Yeah, we're just going to take some damage. That's life, man. Once you get the Durandals, they'll make a difference. Gain a blueprint. Let's grab some blueprints. I do like bastions. I also like platforms. I already have a bunch of bastions, so I'll grab some platforms. When's our next threat reveal? I don't know, but I think I lose a bunch of money on that threat reveal, which I really don't want. Yeah, long term, I'm not worried about our build. If we can make it through the next wave or 2, we will be fine, I believe. +3 Grenadier production, that's really helpful, actually. I've got a 4x4 over here. I really do want just more enemies coming from this stinky direction. All right, I just need a little bit of cash to get my Durandal, which we can hopefully pick up from getting some kills. Come on now. Come on now. We're close. Very, very, very close. Oh, there we go. We got them. They're firing. Perfect. We got the Durandals. Now we just need to get them an extra bit of range. Extra blueprints. The air command could be big. We've already actually set up for a really good air command here. We have a relatively long path where a lot of enemies are going to come from. And the air command is extremely good against that. Let's send our wave. And now we need to save up for underground train. This is going to give an extra 50% rate of fire to the HQ and +1 range per battlefront. The HQ will also gain 200% HP and repair 15% per wave. So time to get this up. The Durandals are just going to shred. You can see the HQ is already done like 4k damage compared to like the 300 from the Miradors, the 1k from this one. Beautiful. Love it. I love this game, man. It's so much fun. All right, clean sweep. 10% Mirador cost. Yes, please. Give me that. All buildings suffer plus next reinforcement, -1 choice, minimum 1. I'm going to take the -1 choice. That's fine. I've already got a lot of stuff that I kind of want / need. So I'm not going to cry over that. I'm going to push this entrance a little bit further out. Ooh, plus 15% supply production per adjacent building. I would love to take advantage of that. Just not quite ready for that. I'm going to plonk a Mirador right there. We will take advantage of this eventually. Send the wave. Yeah, so the Durandal positions are big, but the range is going to be big. That's going to increase the HQ uptime, meaning that it shoots for longer, it shoots more stuff. It's going to be helpful. Come on, don't let them through. Yes, okay, do not let them through. Good, 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 good. Don't let them through. Perfect. Beautiful. Durandals are doing work. I mean, they already do an extra 45% over the baseline damage, which is great. Ammo depot is going to be huge for us here. So even though we had no rolls, we got an amazing one. All right, so look at the coverage of this. Look at the coverage. See these 3 turrets? They don't cover the whole map, right? Boom. Underground train. Boom. Look at that range coverage, okay? And we're going to make that even better once we get this ammo depot up. So this is what we were building towards. It's starting to come online. We're now pushing enemies back further. The Durandals can actually aim in any direction, which is a beautiful part of them, whereas these guys are a little bit more limited in their arcs. Oh, Mirador efficiency, that's going to be big long term. I could conjoin these to push enemies further out, but then I would waste this perfectly good sauce right here, and I don't want to waste that sauce. So I'll push this guy to the right instead. Oh, nice, we got a proto turret. I'm going to put an ammo camp right here, and I'm going to go for staging area 1, 2, and then I'm going to go for shared interpolations for the +2 range, because the really big problem I have right now is low uptime on my main HQ. It's my main DPS building, and I want it to have a really long range so that it can do its job of like protecting the whole map. All right, sick. We're shredding enemies. They're dying. They're getting a little bit close for comfort over here. We have plans for how we can deal with that. And mostly it's going to be just spamming Miradors around our main HQ. It would be good for us to get these underground camps activated, but I don't know how I want to do that. I'm going to have a little bit of a think, because I want the Miradors adjacent to the HQ to give it more health and stuff, and more health and damage. Infantry, Imperial Barracks are super good actually for this plan too. So Krylo and Parasis. It's kind of an interesting combo. I think I'm going to put another one of these shield bug locations up here. I just want all the shield bugs to go down one lane, so that way I can concentrate my anti-shield weapons on a single lane. It's kind of like the strat, the plan, the goal. All right, I'm going to get a Mirador here. Let me think about something. Actually, I should really think about where I want to place my Imperial Barracks adjacent to the main. And I think this is a pretty good spot right there. I don't want to take up 2 spots like this. This is ideal because of the arcs, but I don't want to take up the adjacencies on the HQ. But if I place it like here, 2 of these turrets actually have good arcs. And this is not really built for the barrage LMG. It's built for grenadier production with the secondary barracks, the support team for the HQ damage and HP, and then the space carrier support giving us extra grenadiers. So going blip, blip, blip is the plan. Blip, blip, blip. Now where my other Imperial Barracks is going to go, probably right there. I may as well just place it now. They're not going to do a whole lot of work early into the game. Don't be shocked if they don't do much. They're there mostly to buff my HQ. They will provide some support fire, like you'll see it shooting. And they're not terrible against air units if air units happen to like stride into their space, you know what I mean? I'm seeing like an air angle here. I may want to see if I can get a little bit more anti-air in this direction. Beautiful. The Grenadiers just pumping out, doing work. I do like the frontline trench in particular, since I'm going for a Grenadier heavy build. I'm going to take that. Oh, I can lose a bunch of supply and gain recon, or get more expensive buildings. I'm going to take the expensive buildings for a wave, because that's kind of not too hard to deal with. I'm going to extend this path right here. This path is short. This path is short. That's a problem. I need to extend these, because if heavy enemies come from this direction, it'll be painful. So only building new buildings is expensive. Upgrading buildings is not expensive. So I'm going to grab the secondary barracks for the Grenadier production, the support team for the HQ health and damage, and the space carrier support for the extra Grenadiers. So now we have a big wave of Grenadiers who are going to run down and damage a bunch of enemies. There's that stealthy guy who gets through and does big damage to us. All right, here we go. Nice, nice, nice. The Omega emitter is big for us here. However, high-grade explosives and Mirador costs is actually sick as well. This would mean we're getting a 30% discount on our Miradors, and we built a lot of them, plus a 15% DPS boost on all of our buildings. And we can do a similar thing with... There's a building that was doing that for us, I want to say, somewhere. I don't remember what it was. Okay. What do we spend our energy on? I think Grenadier production, I'm going to go for secondary barracks, support team, space carrier support. We're up to 24 Grenadier now. So when the Grenadiers come out, they're going to do a lot. Then we could look maybe moving towards frontline trenches, just peppering them around somewhere useful to get a lot of infantry HP. I would like to get my Miradors up because I have super cheap Mirador costs. These mostly exist to be placed down and to take advantage of their positioning. I don't necessarily want to upgrade these guys. They were placed for financial reasons. I do think the Durandal and the Bastion scale better than the other choices. That's what I'm going to take. Yeah, I need to increase the distance on these, so I'll just place this here. So this is a little bit further. I want this a little further and this a little further. I'm going to get my Mirador here. I'll go for special reinforcement, logistic reinforcement, close support. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Special reinforcement, logistic reinforcement, close support. We're over 23,000 HP. We don't have any more Miradors to place. I'm going to place a recon hideout. It's a scout hideout right there. That's going to get me 15 supply per turn. Now I could go for the large squad to double the DPS of this thing. I think I will, and then I'm probably not going to do much else there, but just go for the large squad so that we have a nice bit of DPS in this area where a lot of enemies are going to be sort of strolling through. I don't think they're going to go crazy, but they will be helpful, the sort of shooting that they do. All right, what do we got here? Omega Axiom isn't particularly useful. Polymesh armor is good because we have a lot of Grenadiers, and the 25 recon is also nice because it might mean that we can get down another scout hideout adjacent to this. It would be good to get a Mirador in between these two scout hideouts if we could. I would like to get another Imperial Barracks. It would also be good if I started getting my Bastion here. This Bastion, like, it looks straight down this lane and straight down this lane. If I were to put it on a higher platform, it would actually be even better. because now it's looking all the way down that lane. So we'll place it there for now. I'm going to give it high ground expertise for a 30% damage boost. Plus, then I want to go for the roof-based pulse cannon. Yeah, already it's doing pretty good DPS. These heavy Vencedors are not the main reason you build this. You build this for the pulse cannon on top. The pulse cannon on top does crazy damage. We're talking 486 per shot. Plus ammo storage gives extra reload and extra damage speed. Damage and reload speed. So already this thing did 4,000 damage. Compare that to like these guys doing like 400. Even this scout hideout only did like 2,000. So Bastion's super good. I don't have a whole lot of great positions for Bastions, so I might grab a couple Claymore defenses. 5% supply production isn't the end of the world. I don't want to lose HP on my main. I want to add more entrances over here. 10% extra damage against air units on all buildings is quite good. But yeah, I want to add another entrance over here because there's a few turrets that stuff walks by over here, so that's good. I've got a bit of cash saved up, so I'm going to start setting up for my next bastion that's going to go right here. It's not quite as good as this one, but it does a decent amount of work. You could maybe justify cheaper investment on this one, like roof snipers and shooting floor, rather than the high ground into the roof-based pulse cannon. The pulse cannon, +3 range pulse cannon is just disgustingly good. So, and the majority of enemies are going to be coming from here. So I think positioning these in a way where they cover this lane, plus a little bit of this lane to the south, plus a little bit of this lane over here, like that's totally fine. Now, I think these guys have a little bit of, no, they don't have any splash, but that's okay. The roof-based pulse cannons, but they do so much shield damage that it just shreds shields. Like we're talking, how much damage have you done now? 11,000. Just disgustingly good. Let's grab another pulse cannon plus the ammo storage. Gaining supply on threat reveal is really good for us. We only have, I think only 2 more threats are going to get revealed. Yeah, 2 more threats. I've got 1,000 in the bank. I could start picking up my trenches. Good spot for a trench right here. No, right here. And then if I go for troop support, we add a few weapons to this trench, but more importantly, we get extra infantry HP, which is like extra HP on these grenadiers. There's another 15 HP plus a little bit of damage, and then another 20 troop HP. Adds up, you know. So trench will help. I'll put a trench. Oh, I can't quite fit a trench there. Okay, I'm happy to leave things how they are. Good stuff. Now this one, by virtue of being further back, is not going to do nearly as much damage as some of the future things. But you can see these grenadiers are tough as nails. Like they just push through these monsters now. Mirador efficiency is huge. Oh, grand line. You gain 2 frontline trenches, and every frontline trench. For every frontline trench that you have, they all gain plus 25% damage. That's big. Plus the Mirador efficiency is sick. I'm tempted to re-roll here to hopefully, yes, more entrances. That's what I was hoping for. I want more enemies to come from over here. So adding entry points up here will sort of statistically distribute foes that way. But where can I get another trench? Here's not a terrible spot. It's not super ideal, but remember they gain 25% damage for every trench that I have. So I think just getting them down isn't so bad. Here's another good trench spot. More troops. Now our infantry just have crazy HP. This is a decent spot as well if enemies get close. Yeah, I think we just need to get more trenches down. I'll put a trench right here. I'll put a trench right there. I've got 1 more trench that I can add. You know what? I'll just add it there. That's fine. We don't even need to upgrade them because they do get the bonuses, but we probably will, so that our troops are just like, our grenadiers now just have so much help. It's actually going to be insane how far they should push back this wave. That's crazy, the amount of grenadier. They just shove, dude. All right, we do have a little bit of an air issue. I was kind of talking about this earlier. There's like an air angle here that we need to kind of consider. Yeah, look at these grenadiers, dude. They just push. You know, they all get all that health. Because I think the damage of grenadiers, they're basically bombs. They run at the enemy and explode, basically. Oh, I really want that ammo depot. But I'm going to go for another Mirador. And I'm going to see, can I get an Imperial Barracks on a good angle on that air angle? This would use up 2 of the adjacencies, but it would give me a really good air coverage. So would this actually, but it only uses up 1 of the adjacencies. If I go for the secondary barracks, plus the support team, plus the space carrier support. So now I have a little bit of anti-air, kind of covering my main base. And more importantly, I'm now making 31 grenadiers per pump. I wish I did have more tech so that I could get my other Imperial barracks up, but it's not the end of the world. I'll put a Mirador over here, special reinforcement, logistic reinforcement, close support. HQ now has a redonkulous 300% nearly, like triple damage boost. Beautiful. Yeah, I don't expect the trenches to do like a insane, like game-changing amount of damage. But I expect them to do I expect them to punch above their weight, basically. It's my expectations of them. Each building at height 0 gains plus 10% damage, or I can gain 1 Doctrine Among 3 twice, plus an Imperial Barracks. I'll grab the Imperial Barracks, that's fine. Oof. I can lose some Grenadier production. I'm gonna lose that recon, because I don't think you can go negative. Didn't know that. Didn't know that. Apparently, you can go negative. Did not know that. All right, let's get our airfield. That's gonna give us our smoke signal. I'm going to send the smoke signal down this lane. That's what we want. The bomber will come in that whole lane. And I'll spend a little bit of money for extra recon production. I can't get the air supply, but I can get early warnings, which means we do more damage against air units, which is nice. We could get aerial coordination. I would rather get second command for the extra smoke signal, but I'll just leave that there for now. A single bomber bombing down here. I mean, like if you click on the smoke signal, it should have done like a pretty tasty. I can't quite click on the smoke signal. Yeah, it did 17,000 damage. Like, that's a really good building. A bunch of recon, Bastion, Warwolf. I do love Bastions. Bastions are really tasty. Metacryst Brood. We want the shield bugs to come from here, so that's what we're going to put here. So we're dealing with a Metacryst Brood, which is a swarm, flying swarm, and the Lakos, which is a detection-only enemy. We do not have the most amazing detection, but Bastions can kind of help take care of that. Like a Bastion here, with a simple design. It is on the bottom floor. It's on a height 0, so simple design is quite good here. It's going to be a 30% reload speed. It's going to be 60% in fact, so we reload really fast. If we add roof snipers, they're going to be high speed reloading snipers. And if we add a shooting floor, now just sheer DPS in this little quadrant here, plus detection. Really good. And I probably want to do something similar like right here, but what I will probably do differently is put it at height 3 and get the 30% DPS. Yeah, so we do need to deal with this lane. I think this lane here is pretty well covered, but this lane is going to be an issue. These lanes to the north are mostly fine. This is a bit of a problem. It might actually be a good time for me to upgrade these Miradors to full tier 3-ness now. Because remember, we do have like super good Mirador efficiency. We also have, they're super cheap to upgrade. Scout hideouts. I want another Bastion, please. That's my bias showing. I would love to reroll here, but I'm scared. I want to try to dilute this south area again, so I'm going to add another entrance. I'll put a scout tower next to this bad boy. Mostly there just to generate a little bit of value for us. And we don't really have enough damage to be killing all of the stealth units, but that's fine. Like, once you upgrade these Miradors, they do pretty okay DPS in a decent area around them. We took a pretty hefty chunk of damage there on that round. The good news is we're not fighting those walking dinosaur boys. I hate those guys. They just do so much. Okay, extra efficiency on the Bastion is huge, plus the Omega emitter. If we get an Omega emitter on this lane, potentially game breaking. I need something with detection. Mortars can in theory get detection, but I just don't have good lines. If my main base had detection, it would be super useful. Unfortunately, it doesn't, and I can't think of any of the towers that I currently have that would give it detection. I'm going to go with a height 3 Bastion here, with high ground expertise plus roof snipers and a shooting floor. I think that will add a lot of damage in the area. You can see just the amount of swarming enemies just swarming through here. We need some anti-swarm. We just need damage in the area. So hopefully pumping up this Bastion will help. We're having a little bit of an issue with the stuff coming from the north. Still getting like 100k damage on our headquarters every round. So yeah, this is a problematic area. This is a problematic area. We need to kind of build around those. I'm going to take the platforms. Platforms are useful. I can't lose any supply. I'll take the upgrade penalties. That's okay. I'll add more. Reroll this. That's not what I was hoping for. Just make this a little further away. Could get a height 3 Imperial Barracks over here, which would cover some pretty good lanes of fire. It wouldn't be too expensive neither if I did this. Imperial Barracks, height 3. If I add gun holes, now we've got guys shooting out with Protector M2s, just like little basic weak rifles. We could even add a rangefinder to it. That'll help deal with the leaks that were coming from here. Jesus. Thankfully, the Grenadiers are holding there. Right, let's grab those rangefinders, and then we want the heavy Vencedors. Oh, I shouldn't have been upgrading. Right, it's a high expensiveness upgrade wave. We've still got a little bit of an air lane here, plus we're dealing with some stealth that we're not quite killing, but that's okay. Strategically, I think we're doing fine. Ooh, cheaper building upgrade costs. I think I want the Mirador, actually, because my whole strat kind of revolves around using Miradors. Let's grab the heavy Vencedors. These are going to have pretty good coverage in the area around. I mean, this thing already did 5k damage. It's pretty damn respectable. If you look at this bad boy, 22k damage, 1.8 on you, 2.3, 500. These guys have done between like 3 and 4k damage each, which is not bad. I wouldn't mind getting another Imperial Barracks somewhere. right here, maybe? Covers useful zones. I'll get the gun holes plus the rangefinder, and then the heavy vencedors. Covers an area where swarms have been coming from and been vexing me, and I do not like being vexed. Let's get another Mirador near main. Close support, extra HP on the HQ. We got big HP on our HQ. Definitely could use a little bit more DPS concentrated in and around this zone. There's sort of some enemies getting through, which is not ideal. Let's grab a Claymore defense. I like it's an interesting building because of its shape and layout of its guns. All right, final wave. We got a 3-way tile. I'll put a 3-way tile right there. It's a versatile defense building. What do you do again? All buildings gain first play. Oh, I forgot about you. Hell yeah. Well, that was a 15% DPS boost that I completely forgot about. Let's put a platform here. I'm gonna put a Claymore defense right there on height 2. We could add a bunch of LMGs, or we could add a multi-pulsar. I think I like the diverse weapon setup, so we'll go for a multi-pulsar. This is pretty good against shield. It targets the most shield, most HP, closest to the HQ. What the hell are we up against? Breeding grounds. Hatching eggs emerge from the ground during the final wave. Oh, that's terrifying. Let's get the frag launcher in there, and the ammo reserve to keep these guys firing quickly. Jesus. Enemies are getting through. They're pounding us. This is why you want to have a lot of health on your HQ, man. Are we making it? Are we making it? Looks like we might be. Look at the amount of health we lost on our HQ in that final wave. That's why you got to have all that HQ HP, man. Oh, a division relay. So by winning 5 expeditions, a versatile building, its high-tech base can be used to power either a pulse cannon or as a communication relay to request more supply. That's really cool. Reach 200k or 20k HP on HQ. This got us Architect Drox. He reduces the cost of buildings and gives them extra HP. That's super cool. Yeah, that was an expedition. We could go on to endless mode it. Let's see how far we can get. Cheaper Claymore defenses is decent. It means they should scale quite good. Can we find somewhere to put one? I've become a bit of a height snob. Like, I don't want to put anything anywhere unless it's like super high up. Like, here we go. Here's a Durandal. Oh, these actually want to be adjacent to neutral buildings. So do we have a high neutral spot? We have a +1. There's a +2. I'll take that. That's going to be plus another 2 range. So it's got good range now, heavy payload, and I'll give it the Claydon cannon. So hopefully this thing will do a bit of work up here. It's already got 1400 damage. If this thing did like 5k damage, I feel like I overspent. It needs to do a lot more than 5,000 damage for me to feel like it was justified. Jesus. Yeah, we need to add damage down this lane. Probably in the form of an Omega emitter. Oh, we're so dead. Wait, may not be dead. Perhaps we are alive against all the odds. Okay, all right. Ammo depot, cheaper bastions. I'm gonna put you here. I'm gonna add an Omega emitter pointing down this lane. I'll give it optimized coils, safe wirings, and charging cells. So it's got big damage pointing down that lane. And we're basically dead, but maybe this beam will clean up a lot of these little dudes. It's kind of what I'm hoping for. Like, the beam does work, man. Come on! Oh! We're dead. We were crushed by wave 37. We did beat it, though. Like, that's one guy now where we beat it on 15 hardness. Oh, man, it records how hard it was. Dude, don't do that to me. Now I want to do all the hardness. There's still a lot of stuff that I haven't seen in here, which I'm really intrigued by. Let's do a little meme, right? We're gonna play Tank Commander Barrett, okay? And we're gonna play max difficulty. All possible penalties are there. Oh, light motor delivery. Oh. I'll take 150 supply. The relay antenna is good. Ooh, an armored staging ground. Yes, this is perfect. So this was the meme we were gonna do. On threat reveal, gain 200 supply. Let's push this exit out this way. What we were going to do was to try to go for... I think I'm going to go for the support helipad with the Reaper turrets, maybe. Although then again, I could go for the Banner of the Regiment, which would allow me to, like, if I built a Mirador or 2 next to this, they would go crazy. Okay, sure, for the first round or 2, we're going to struggle a little, but if I build you here... Now, do I want the range? Or do I want the special reinforcement? Detection is really useful. The extra range is awesome. It's +2 range. +2 range or detection. I feel like the raw DPS is just better, so we'll go for the straight down. These guys should do a pretty good job of holding off some of the early lanes. Ow, 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 ow. Oh, hell yeah, cheaper Miradors. Let's do it. Special reinforcement. We'll go for logistic reinforcement as well. We'll be able to get 8 Miradors adjacent to this thing. Oh, we're dying. Ah, no. Yeah, we're so dead, dude. This is not a viable opener. This is the opposite of viable. What's the opposite of viable? Unviable? Nega viable? Super not viable. We dead. Okay, let's try that again. Ooh, an ammo depot. Ooh, supply. I'll take some supply. Sturdy bunkers. Ooh, I'll take the reveal. Extra reveal supply. Advanced Mirador. I'll take the supply. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this starting thing. Let's forfeit and retry. I don't like it when you're forced to reduce the number of battlefronts. I like that to be a choice. 5% repair on the HQ would eliminate one of the problems that we have to deal with. Armored staging ground, tech. Take that armored staging ground. Threat reveal. Yeah, I don't like it when your starting tiles automatically connect to each other. I find that to be offensive, actually. Here's a +3 height. That's beautiful. We can special reinforcement, veteran. That will cover this whole area. That should be covered with these boys. Yeah, look at that shreddage. Now, we are a little bit weak to these other directions, but that, it's, you know, it's not a big deal. We'll deal with that. We got another +3. Right, give me a little money here. Extra doctrines is not bad. Let's do it. Come on, live, live. We're so close to dead. There's the supply we needed. That's critical. I need you to give me veteran reinforcement. Come on now. Oh no, I think we're dead. Whoops. Whoopsies. We so dead. Wait, do we live? No, we're dead. It's hard, man. This mode is tough. I gotta say, like certain leaders, like if you don't, certain things, if you're missing them, it's tough. It's hard. But yeah, I'm gonna call that the end of our time with Tower Dominion for today. I might come back and play a few more times. Like I would like to explore and learn maybe some of these things. I gotta say, again, this is a fantastic tower defense game. I love you all very much and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.